So in the last class, we've been seeing about calculation views, right? Okay, now the two notes which I would like to explain, one is on the union and rank. Okay. For the union, I have this analytical view. I can't use this. Mhm. Okay, I have this analytical view. Okay. So this is without attribute view. Okay, this is my analytical view, which is just giving me sales data. So what I'm doing, I'm just creating a new calculation view. Union, I want it as cube, graphical is fine. So let's take a projection of this analytical view. And I want this to be filtered on certain region. So this projection will give you only my EMEA region, okay? I want one more projection which will give me, let's say, data for Asia Pacific. APJ. Assume like this, you might have different different set of source object. Each one is giving for different region. I just want to unify all the regions, or it could be on year wise or region wise, whatever it is, and I would like to unify all these results. I'll take one more projection. Same analytical view. Let's say here, you remember others? EMEA, APJ, and what? EMER, what was it? EMEA, AMER. Okay. So I got three projections. Each one is giving different year, and I just different region. I just want to unify all the results. Connect all this to the union. So can union take multiple inputs, more than two? Now then, once you combine all of them to the union, just you got control the union properties here. This is how it is. Like you see in the region. Okay. I've not selected the columns in the output. Okay, is my definite, see, structure of all the projections are same, but only thing is content is different. I can say auto map like this, so which will automatically get the mapping. See, it takes, now you have region. Now region is getting mapped from what? Region of projection 1, region of projection 2, region of projection. You can get this map. Or what you can do is you can also remove all mappings, remove target columns. Or what you can do is you can just select all this and say right click, add to the target. You can also add it like this. In that case, you'll have to map it explicitly one by one, region to what? Region, city to city like this. Then whatever this region way is nothing but the value from projection 1 and projection 2. You can do it one by one like this, or a static, if you say like this, it automatically takes all the target fields and also mapping is done automatically. And then once the union, I just want to connect the results of the union to this aggregation. All these are attributes, add to output. Measures, I'll say add as what? Aggregate columns because of this units and add to output. And that's it, add to. Like this, the scenario could be, we have, let's say there is one data source giving data for 2012, 13, 14, different years, and we want to combine the result, then I can use union. Or multiple regions, you want, when you work with scalability and you divide the data based on the region wise or year wise, at a later point of time, you want to combine those results, then I'll use union. This is how you use union. Okay. And if you see the data, you will see data for all the three regions now. EMEA, Asia Pacific, and EMEA. Okay, boss. This is like using union, boss. Next, I would like to show you about ranking. I have this analytical view. Basically, if you see the company name and say gross amount, if I say start descending, now these are the ones of the top 5. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are the top 5 because I've done sorting based on what? Descending order. And once it is sorted on the descending order, I just pick the first 5. That will be, you can use more than one union also, no problem. Major point is union can take multiple inputs, more than 2. Join 2 inputs, projection, aggregation, and ranking, single input. So this is how the ranking is, okay. But now what I want is, so top 5 customers are these, okay. The general top 5 will. But now what I want is country-wise top 5 one or region-wise. Say I select region. Now for EMEA, I've got a set of customers. Okay, now this is you got data sorted on this EMEA. Now within this EMEA, I want those top 5 customers, like ranking. You've seen about Windows functions. You have a rank function. Same window function about ranking can be achieved with calculation with rank operation. Same. So I'll use this analytical view and get that ranking. ZCV ranking. Cube is fine. And I take the projection of this analytical view first. This is not the one. This is the one. I can use anything you want. I'm just using this which is available. I'll say country or region. Region, I want country, I want, and then I want what? Gross amount. That's okay, nothing else. Okay. Then I'll take rank. Can just, because in projection, you can just project what columns you want. Then I'll take the rank node and then connect the output of this projection to this rank. Now in the ranking, I'm just going to control all this. So I calls in the company name, not country. So just select all the three, add output. Okay. Now here you're going to control the ranking properties. See, the ranking operation can be used to get bottom or top, either ways. Okay. So if you want to get the top, we'll say descending order, then that will be top. If you say ascending, then you'll get what? Bottom. So here it says sort direction is a descending top. Descending would be for top, and if it's ascending, you would get what? Bottom. So I want the top, so I'll go with descending. Okay. Threshold is like fixed. How many do you want? You want top 5 or you want top 3? What do you want? I want to say top top 3. Okay. See, you do this, you sort the value based on descending order. Then first 3 will be the top 3. But which value do you would like to do sort? You like to do sorting on the descending based on what was gross amount. The order by what is it? So it does do sorting based on gross amount in the descending order and picks the top 3, which is top. Now, you want the overall top 3 or you want top 3 for every region? You remember Windows function over partition by, remember? You partition the data, then execute your function on it. So I would like to partition the data for each region. For each region, I want top 3. So here I'll say partition by which one? Region. Okay, boss. And connect the results of this rank here and then attributes as add output, key figure add as aggregate column. That's it. Propose. You set top 3, so if you run this. But if you look at AMER, you get to see what? Top 3 customers. EMEA, you get to see top 3 customers. For each region, you get to see 3. But if there is ODE hunting, ODE also. Clear? Okay. Now the point is, generally we would require to make it dynamic. It's not that you're fixing it to top 3. I want to make it dynamic. 5 or 5 or 2. I can make it dynamic by using input parameter. See, whenever you want to make the definition of the view dynamic, it is input parameter. After the view definition is done, you would like to do a filter, then it is variable. So now, are you parameterizing the view? And the view execute parameter pass chesi, then but execute call. You top 3 kaakunda ipudu 5 pumpiste 5 execute kavala, 4 pumpiste 4. You're just trying to pass some parameters to that view. Then it is input parameter. What I'll do? Can I create input parameter here? Here or any node level, you can select this input parameter, right click and say what new. IP top direct. That's just I will say that is an what integer direct and just this text box. Okay. Ikkada ranking దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళిపో instead of saying what is this top 3 fix బదులు yes input per ఏంది IP top అంతే. So can you make this dynamic now? Now ఇప్పుడు ఏంది నేను only top 2 ఇస్తే 2 వస్తారు అన్నమాట. ఒక్కో EMEAకి ఇప్పుడు SAP లేదు చూడు, because we set top 2. ఇప్పుడు 3 కొడితే SAP. Okay, boss. Like this, you can also make it. See, entire definition of the view can be made dynamic by using parameterization. You can use parameterization with parameters. So I think now pretty much you should be able to do graphical views. You know about using all the operators and you should be able to build your logic. Next, let's focus on scripting. How do we write script-based calculation? Okay. First, let's take a simple example and So I have a table called address. There are a lot of columns. I just want to implement a calculation view scripting based, which will basically read data from this table and give it to nothing else. And that I'm not reading everything. I'm just reading address ID, city, country, and what region. These 4 columns I would like to read from this table and give it. So if it is normal calculation, what you do, you say projection of this table, you just select some columns. You could do that with graphical also. Yes or no? Same thing I would like to implement SQL now. ZCV SQL 01. Standard is fine. What is it? Calculation type would be scripting based. See here, you say case sensitive variable declaring case sensitive. Yes, okay. So this is how it is. Now when you go scripting based calculation, you only have 2 nodes. One is script view, semantics in the scenarios. As part of script view, you basically write all your logic by using SQL script. You start implementing your logic of your view, and then ultimately, what are the data you would like to return out? You'll assign it to this variable called table called var, and this is a temporary table. See, ultimately logic in that you write all your logic, and what are the data you want to return it out, you will assign it to this temporary table called var underscore out. Logic anta rasi edaithe no view nunchi result ivalanukuna result antatni var underscore out like ese ayipoddi. But the question now is, what is the structure of this var underscore out? It's a temporary table, so it's like itab. So that itab should have some structure, should have some column definitions. Where is it declared? Here. You see this folder columns. What are the columns you declare it here? Will be the structure, will be these columns used to define the structure of this output table. You can create columns A, B, C, D. What does it mean? There are going to be 4 columns in this table. One is of length 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Bring the logic. What does this mean? I have script-based calculation where my return table is var underscore out with structure with 4 columns: A column, B column, C column, and D column. ఈ అవుట్పుట్ బ్లాక్ లో కాలమ్స్ ఫోల్డర్ లో ఏవైతే కాలమ్స్ డిక్లేర్ చేసావో those columns will be used to declare the structure of this output table called var underscore out. So once the structure has been defined, you will start writing your logic to assign the data to assign the result towards this table, temporary table var underscore out as the concept. Okay, boss. And if you want to make this view dynamic, I can still use what? Input. Means I want to take some input from the users and I would like to parameterize the SQL scripting based view. I can make it by using input param. Clear? Okay. What is our requirement was? You wanted to read those 4 columns: address ID, city, region, and country from this table and return out from this view. So you by default will have temporary table called what? Var underscore out. Now what should be structure of this table var underscore out? The 4 columns what you wanted written out, right? So I'll say what I'll do. Right click and so what? Create columns. You can manually define your columns if you want. You can say column name, date, type, and length, all this. Okay. Or if you're not sure on the date type and length, I can also import those column definitions from a different table or whatever it is. So what I'll say, no manual column type disable import anta where they going to import just from where do you want import? I want to import from a table. ఇప్పుడు ఈ టేబుల్ ఉన్న కాలమ్స్ అనేది చూపిస్తాను. ఇప్పుడు ఈ కాలం ఇది ఏం కావాలో సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటా ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఆ టేబుల్లో ఎలాగైతే కాలమ్స్ ఉన్నాయో అదే డెఫినేషన్తో నాకు కూడా క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. ఇట్లా it'll import disable in address ID, nvarchar 10, see, type disable. I'm just importing those column definitions from different table structures. Clear? Now what is my out written table? Variable. It's a temporary table only. And what is structure of the table? With these 4 columns. Okay. Now you have to remove this dot indicates you can write your code and what it is. Now you got to remove this and start writing your code. What is it? Ultimately, what read data from this table and assign it to this. So I tab is equal to so and so. Can I write? Select start with unknowns. Whenever you putting data in temporary table, the structure must match because we don't have into corresponding fields layout. So you got to handle it like address address ID, comma, then what? I want to read city, comma, then country, region, from the table. Which table is this? That's it. You repeat the code on. You end up and last it should end with every SQL statement will end with a semicolon. That's it. See in the view properties it says what is the data category? Cube. If it is cube, at least it expects one key figure. So I'll make sure I'm not having cube. I'll make sure I'll set that as what? Blank. When I say blank, cube is what the order live. Okay. I can set this as key if you want and then activate. If you see the content, what does it show me? What is this column name? Address ID, it shows me addresses ID, city, country, region. Let's say I actually wanted to have this column name is not country, countries and girls. What do I do? So because what are the output you're seeing? That is actually the structure of this table variable crowd. So I would like to edit the column definition of I would like to edit the column definition of this table variable crowd countries TRIES. Then what happens? That's countries. You get an error. You just try to see. It says attribute name countries different from attribute name country. So you're reading country from the table, but you're actually supposed to fill country. So system doesn't know the data what it is reading for the column country should be put into which column in my temporary table. So what I would do, what are the column I'm reading as country? I would have to rename it as country so that it knows which column it has to put it to. I say what as Now if I try to see the content, you get to see the column name as content. The column name వేరే ఉన్నప్పుడు as వాడుకుని నువ్వు basically into corresponding fields అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ ను as తో ఇక్కడ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తాం. Okay, boss. Now simple, you're just giving me all this data, right? EMER and I just want to take input from the user region. Our region batti నాకు data రావాలి. So what I'll do, can I go with input dynamic? Okay. First it's where region is equal to EME and it's a string, right? I'll put in single quotes. In the column got double quotes, okay? Yeah, this is select. What will happen now? You get to see only the regions of EMEA and the EMEA. Now, did I fix this logic? I don't fix it. I just want to make this region has to be dynamic. In torque query okay kadana. Akka nak dynamic in torque bana undi kada. Select so and so from where, because since you want to read selectively from a table, so where class, a where region value matram dynamic ga kavali. Okay, which is nothing but where what I'll do. Okay, input parameter create this new IP direct would go okay. Like F4 then if you want F4, I can set it to column and then make it varchar 4 anta. ఇక్కడ ఏమంటాను వేర్ రీజన్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ టు వాట్ ఫిక్స్డ్ వాల్యూ కాదు పారామీటర్ లో ఉన్న వాల్యూ కావాలి. సో హౌ డు రెఫర్ టు వాల్యూ చెప్పారు కోలన్ ఐపీ అండర్ స్కోర్ స్క్రిప్టింగ్ లో వేరియబుల్ లో లోపల ఉన్న వాల్యూ అంటే కోలన్ వేరియబుల్ వాల్యూ. ఇప్పుడు నా వాల్యూ జస్ట్ ఎంటర్ సమ్ ఏపీజే అంటే ఓన్లీ ఏషియా పెసిఫిక్. ఓకే, and if I AM here only AM. Okay, Nana, clear? Okay. Can I also implement the same with by writing C functions? But if you want to use the parameter, then it has to be select only. I can't do that with C. But only just reading, I can simulate that with what var underscore out is equal to what C underscore which table there table. So first parameter would be your table name, comma, then list out but look at this, I'm going to have my so this one, I'm just reading this. But you remember, my name of the output table is different here. So when you want to handle renaming of the columns or projecting to different thing, which C function will you use? C projection. So I will not assign this directly to var underscore out. But I'll say I tab 1 something. Okay. Then now I'll say what var underscore out is equal to C underscore projection of what I tab 1 what columns do you want to project? Ikkada I'll say what as parameter 1 is temporary table. Then the columns list. I should end the square bracket. And then I finish up this. Then I end with what? Semicolon. Right? Okay. Get CS controls. Atla. You might have to use multiple functions. One is C column table, C projection, and whatever we have learned about C functions also can be leveraged into this. Okay, was one more requirement. Certainly. The parameter also. Don't be declare item sub. No. If you're returning the table, it needs declaration. If you look at this, var underscore out was a temporary table where the data of it was being returned out. That's where I'm using this columns folder and declaring the structure of it. But whereas itab is only used within the body of that scripting, I'm not returning the table out, so it does not need any declarations. Okay. So it was considered. I'm putting this as region. Yeah. I have an analytical view where I'm just applying this view. Simple. I have an analytical view which has got an input parameter. If I just run this, okay, I'm just getting this results. So this analytical view which has got some input parameter here, where I got to pass in and get the result. Now I would like to implement a calculation view with scripting based, where I'm going to read data from this analytical view and give me the results. Okay, Nana? ZCV SQL 02 and what type here again? Scripting condition. What is required? First this one without any input parameter. Okay. I just want to read that. AV sales reporting. I'll try to import those columns. ZAV sales reporting without attribute view. దాంట్లో నుంచి నాకు సరే సిటీ కంట్రీ రీజన్ ఎక్కువ పెడితే మళ్ళీ ఎక్కువ కాన్స్ రాయాల్సి వస్తుంది. సో నాకు అంత వద్దు. కంపెనీ గ్రాస్ అమౌంట్ సాల్ క్వాంటిటీ ఓకే సాల్ ఎక్కువ ఓకే. So this is my output structure. So what I'll do, but remember you're trying to fire a query on this view. Okay, so first చూద్దాం మీకు ఎర్రర్ రాని. అది అనలిటికల్ వ్యూ ఓలాప్ ఇంజిన్ అగ్రిగేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా. సెలెక్ట్ వాట్ ఈస్ కంపెనీ నేమ్ basically you will not read ఈ వ్యూ లాగలేవు అంటే ఇది రాదు. You getting what I'm saying? You cannot do select on this view, only reporting your view. But if you want to select, it has to be done on what? Column view on this scheme. ZAV sales reporting 7 cubics without attribute view. This is the one. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తున్నాను, నాకు సెలెక్ట్ రీడ్ చేయలేము. ఐఎమ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు రీడ్ ఇట్ ఆన్ ద కాలమ్ వ్యూ విచ్ వాస్ జనరేటెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ అనలిటికల్ వ్యూ. ఓకే, కన్ఫ్యూజన్ ఏం లేదు. ఇప్పుడు ఎర్రర్ కొడుతుంది చూడు. ఐ వాంట్ టు సీ దట్ ఎర్రర్ సో దట్ యు విల్ అండర్స్టాండ్ వాట్ కొట్టింది. ఇది అగ్రిగేషన్ ఏదో అంటుంది. Could not derive table type for variable var underscore out. Feature not allowed over all of you search without what is this? Without aggregation and group by. See, you're trying to write a select statement on a column view which was generated from the analytical view, which is actually using OLAP engine or OLAP. Is it a OLAP catalog column view? So OLAP, whenever you refer to measure, you must always specify the aggregation function. And in a select statement, when I have an aggregation function, should that have a group by function? So you should say what? Sum of, sum of from what? We would key figure. Least sum of the min max bit, but there must be an aggregation function. When you're reading it from OLAP catalog column, you must have the aggregation and group by. Group by what? Attribute name different in okay, I understand. See, now it is reading company name. Sum of gross amount is a column name, but actually my table column name is so I'll say what as okay. Now let me just you just get the company name, gross amount, quantity. Okay, same with the requirement. Same with the requirement, but only thing is I just want to read from a which one? View, what is input parameter? Okay, same. I just want to read data from an analytical view. I just now read with an analytical view which never had any input parameter. Now I'm trying to read something on the input parameter. Subdame దీని బదులు ఏం పడతాం బస్ నాకు డెఫినేషన్ అంతా సేమ్ అన్న నా కాలమ్ నేమ్స్ వద్దులే ఎందుకంటే అదే చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఈ పాయింట్ మెయిన్ when they ask you when do you go for scripting అంటే ఇదే మెయిన్ సిన్నర్ అన్నట్టు చెప్తాను ZCV SQL 03 scripting based, it's fine. Now I write a scripting where I'm going to read data from this view without attribute view underscore IP, but which actually has an what? Input parameter. What is the name of the input parameter? IP. Again, we'll declare out. Because columns more are there. Company name, gross amount, net amount. Input ZAV. This one, not this time, okay. Company name, gross amount, quantity. You can just set a control and then select multiple columns. In the mall select since it is since we go to read from OLAP catalog column, you must specify aggregation function. అంటే ఓన్లీ మెజర్స్ ఉంటేనే లేకపోతే అవసరం లేదు as what from what OLAP catalog column, but this which one is this? This one without attribute view IP. This OLAP undi, and this is calculation column view. So I'll prefer reading from OLAP view. Anything you want, you can do that. And I told you when there is complex calculations, it generates in a calculation view on top of OLAP catalog column view. And error. ఏముంటుంది సరే 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 గ్రూప్ బై క్లాస్ కూడా మనకు అది తెలుసు ఫస్ట్ లెట్ మీ రైట్ దట్ గ్రూప్ బై ఎలా తీయడం లేదు సరే డేటా ఇవ్వకూడదు కనీసం అది వాడతాను అంటే నాకు సర్లే అంటే డిఫాల్ట్ వాల్యూ తీసుకుంటాను సర్లే బస్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ గివింగ్ డేటా ఫర్ ఆల్ ద రీజన్స్ ఒక రీజన్ అని కాదు నా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఏంటంటే డస్ దట్ వ్యూ హ్యాస్ అన్ ఇన్పుట్ పారామీటర్ బస్ ఐపీ రీజన్కి నేను ఇక్కడ వాల్యూ తీసుకుని ఆ వాల్యూకి అక్కడ పాస్ చేయాలి సో ఆ రీజన్ ఫస్ట్ లెట్స్ పాస్ ఫిక్స్ పారామీటర్ బ్లడ్ రాస్తాం normally if you're reading data from a table selectively you won't read, then I'll use what where class. But you're trying to read from a views catalog column views which has got input parameters, then I use what we use with placeholder, you remember with what did I say, then we pass was placeholder dot dollar నాకెందుకు నాకు తెలియదు దీనికి ఇన్పుట్ పారామీటర్ క్యాప్స్ లో ఉన్నా కూడా ఇక్కడ లో కేసే వర్క్ అవుతుంది క్యాప్స్ ఇస్తే వర్క్ కాదు ఐ డోంట్ నో వై ఓకే రీజన్ ఏం పాస్ చేయాలా ఎంఈఏ if you're reading selectively from a database table, I would use where class. But now I'm trying to read data from a views, catalog column views, which has got input parameters. I need to pass value to those parameters, only then they can give me results. To pass in the value to the parameters, what they have it, I use what? With placeholder, that's important. Chala important. This point raval next to step. Look, okay, now it's clear. Set schema syntax error, incorrect syntax here. Spelling mistake. Dollar పెట్టినా కదా REGION కనీసం క్యాప్స్ లైన్ నెంబర్ 10 కోలన్ అంటాము create statement so and so table type underscore as component so and so. Incorrect syntax near so and so line number 10 and column 10. One second. You remember that group by so and so with then placeholder with PLA CE holder dot. One second, where are examples? Sorry, I'm just missing some syntax. With లేదా ఎక్కడ పారామీటర్ కదా ఓకే ఇప్పుడు విత్ కావాలి స్మాల్ ఉండాలి invalid name or function. Company name. ఇట్లా క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ కాలం గ్రూప్ అయితేనే తప్పు అంతే సార్ గ్రూప్ బై should be the last statement, otherwise it's all. Now this should be giving me only for EMEA. What I'll do, this is good dynamic jail. What I'll just create one input adigi, input adik pass chalo IP underscore ikkada REG అని పెడతా డైరెక్ట్ nvark 4 ఇక్కడ ఏంది instead of passing EMEA, what will I pass? Content of IP underscore REG. తేడా ఉంది save failed. Why? Set 00 SQL. It's a group by company name, and then let's activate this. Syntax near group. Correct group. Comma after no. Oh. Okay, now this is fine. But I don't fix this value here. So what I'll do, I'll just create an input parameter IP underscore REG envarchar and it's a 4. Instead of passing EMEA, I'll say what IP underscore REG. Now when I go to content, when I say APJ, you get to see this data. What is it? 86. Correct? ఇది మన వ్యూ కరెక్ట్ పనిచేస్తుంది. ఓకే, ఇది ఓన్లీ స్పెసిఫిక్ ఇస్తుంది. REG region. Okay. Syntax here. Line number 5. Then it's getting all. Let me use second. Am I using the right one? 7 cubics reporting IP placeholder. What connection? There was a bug actually. ಏನು ನಾ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ తో ಪಾಸ್ చేయాలన్నా ప్లేస్ హోల్డర్ పెట్టి కాల్ చేయాలంతే IP new. Let's go here. Create one input parameter IP underscore region. Let me apply that to the filter. And then IP underscore అన్ని రీజన్స్ వస్తున్నాయన్నా ఓకే boss. You take this and okay, shows. And then basically what I want to show is if you're reading selected from a table, use where and then just pass value. But if you're reading data from a view which has got input parameters, you call that by using this what is placeholder. Okay, boss. Just one point. The problem was on the case sensitive, nothing else. I said true, right? That's the only point. One more point. We have something called restricted column. In analytical view, we had something that, and even in calculation view also we have restricted columns. But only difference is if you go here, where is this? I'm in analytical view. When I build restricted column, I can just say something. So I want gross amount where billing status equal to or not equal to whatever it is, what? I could only give fixed value. In analytical view, we cannot make restricted column dynamic. Okay, but if you go to calculation view, I've not used aggregation or something. You have restricted column here, right click and say new, say something and say gross amount. Billing status is simple. For example, I don't fix it, and you still have flexible of using what between good or what also. Okay, equal to. I don't fix this value equal to. Instead of fixing, can I go with input parameter? With this, can I make my restricted column also dynamic? And can I have this restriction dynamic between saying between operator? So can I go with range also? The input parameters, choose one as from, one parameter as two. Can I do that also? So in the lab, can you try practicing this so that we can discuss tomorrow? I want YTD MTD, WTD. అంటే I want YTD sales, MTD sales and WTD sales. Just take some company name, some region, some country or city, something. For all this, I would like to have YTD sales. You refer to the gross amount, okay? MTD sales, WTD sales. Why do we need to use aggregate functions? No, okay. We cannot use input parameters. See, input parameters are local to that particular view. Once I create input parameter in one view, I can't reuse it like variables in BEX. Variables BEX are global. But here, if I just create input parameter for one view, even if I need it others, again I need to recreate the view, recreate the input parameter.
So, but for analytical view and attribute view, we use the same. We created these.
Those are also different, but I'm passing values. You get what I'm saying? If it's when I use input parameter and attribute view, and I've got the input parameter same name here, it means I'm passing with the map, but it's not global. Okay, we are passing the values.
Can you use the same with the calculation
and calculation and attribute?
And
why you want to? Because analytical view has got input parameter, right? If you getting what I'm saying, analytical view has got concept of input parameter. Now there is an analytical view with input parameter and you want to call it. Then what will say? You'll call by saying placeholder. Getting what I'm saying? Okay. Why do we need to use aggregate? Because it is overlap column view with aggregation functions mandatory. Why do we need to use aggregate? Okay. Why do we need? Okay. Then because it is using overlap engine, aggregation function is mandatory. To send today's class recording. Okay. Why do we need? Right. This is. Can you try building this view? YTD, MTD, and WTD. Here so logically, can I think about this way? I'll create one input parameter for what? First day of year, right? One more input parameter I'll create, like say what? First day of month. What is MTD? First day of the month till date, right? I'll get one more input parameter where I'll say first day of what? Week. I'll create one more input parameter which will get me what? Current date. Okay. Then YTD sales is equal to what? Gross amount where created, you take that created date you have, right? Sales order created date. Created date is between what? Between IP1 and what? IP4. So like this, you'll build 3 restricted columns. Like this, you'll build 3 restricted columns, one for YTD, one for MTD, one for week WTD. Okay. How many input parameters I've got? 4. Okay. And every time my user runs this report, he always gets a prompt for 4. You'll get a selection screen with 4 parameters. One is first day of the year, first day of the month, first day of the week, current date. What I wanted to open code. Maximum I'll give current date. Maximum says I only give current date. Current date batti maname first day of the year, first day of the week, first day of the month kanukuni danni batti మనం పాస్ చేసుకో. It's more or less like BEX. I step 2. First you do this. Tomorrow we'll try to focus on that I step 2. If you can get that logic, I think most of it We can handle any complex scenarios. ఇప్పుడు graphical okay, scripting okay. Next is use interchangeable, and I need to use graphical into SQL into graphical. వాడగలిగితే complex scenarios you can use. Can you try this today? Because there's no one you cannot have input parameter with range, but I can use two input parameters in between operator, between IP1 and IP2. I can use like that. Can you try this today? We'll stop it and we'll continue tomorrow.